fair or foul to blame Jon Robinson for Caleb Farley's Titans career thus far? What is the chat saying on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch?
There's a lot of one words, and that one word is fair. Noah says fair. ABNTX says fair. Andre is our first foul, so we'll keep tabs there because we got a string of fairs. Scott, Steven, Eric, Danny, Ramon, Orlando, Bama Brad goes extremely fair. Sheila, Will Dodson, Blast. Brandon's calling him a bust, so he's saying fair. Dom says foul, so we got 2. Steven, fair. Caleb, fair, not Farley. Jason, fair. Very fair from Xavier. Very fair right there. Troy says fair. Fair 100%. Top tier says fair. Sheila asked, will he be released? That may be something we need to talk about.
All right, I've got his contract right here in front of me if you want to go over that now. So Caleb Farley, after this season, will have a dead cap number of $7.9 million. So, I mean, the Titans could release him, but first-round picks get their contracts fully guaranteed. His fully guaranteed contract was 13.5, so 7.9 is left over the last 2 years. So I don't know if that's too big or a number that
depends on their cap situation.
Yeah, right? And they've got a lot of big decisions to make after this season on cap numbers, and so we'll have.
But it's not big enough for it's like an absolute no. Like Ryan Tannehill's cap hit was so big that there was no possible way. There's a difference between 54 and 7 million. So I do think it's a fair question.
It's a fair question, but it also, it's something where the Titans can think about it because they also have Fulton, McCreary, and Molden, some other really good young players at that position group where they can afford to let Caleb Farley sit back and try to get healthy again.
Noah giving Sam some lunch money. Farley will never be an NFL corner. The only way I see to salvage his career is to transition to safety, going the Logan Ryan route for the 2024 season, and that's a long shot. I think that's like one of those, something has happened, you're trying to find a solution, maybe that would work. But I do think that maybe his poor play or lack thereof on the field may push, I don't know, maybe they're throwing spaghetti at the wall, right? Maybe like, hey, maybe we transition to safety. You got a big body, you're tall, you're lanky, you're long. Maybe that is it. But I do think that that's a reach. Overall, this is absolutely fair. The chat got this right. We've got to hold the people accountable who we need to hold accountable. And Jon Robinson is the man who we need to hold accountable. It's fair to criticize, guys. We don't live in a world playing patty cake, okay? It's okay to get criticism. Look, you have bad takes, you have good takes. You have bad draft picks, you have good draft picks. The problem is Jon Robinson notoriously has a lot of bad draft picks in the first round. And that's your most value, and as you said, the most expensive draft pick that you make. And so he can't afford and couldn't afford at the time 2 years ago to make this decision. And so it is absolutely fair to blame Jon Robinson for Caleb Farley's Titans career because he had all of it in front of him. He knew that he hadn't played a lot of football. He knew that he had had several back surgeries. He knew all of this. But at the same time, in a position where his team was going for it, he took a flyer on a guy who was a risk. And sometimes risks turn into rewards, and sometimes risks turn into busts. But this risk, everything was painted on the wall that this was going to be a bust, and it was confirmed. So the chat, little golf clap for you. You guys got it right. It's fair to criticize Jon Robinson. He picked the player. This is going to be hard for you to defend, Austin. So I'm going to sit back and see how you're going to answer this.
I feel like if with Jon Robinson taking and making this pick in that time, right? Like it's whenever we're asking this question, and it's hard because we're also human, just like Caleb Farley and Jon Robinson are. we need to put our mental state back in April of 2021. What was the 22nd overall picks worth to the Titans, who just won the division? They lost a home playoff game in a defensive battle to the Ravens, where the offense had its worst output. And the Titans had a lot of pieces back, right? They had their core. They really did not have a lot of starting positions up for grabs. And I think Jon Robinson made this draft pick of Caleb Farley saying, I'm okay with whatever the result is going to be. And I think I kind of agreed with that.